Hello there, everyone, and welcome to GamePoints episode 329. Weekly, we'll get together, we talk about recent gaming news. As always, your host, Stephen Brown, and tonight, sounds like the Cyberpunk sequel is all hands on deck. We have multiple Silent Hill games potentially confirmed by someone tangentially related to the franchise, and yes, that connection is as tenuous as you might think. And Elle Fanning seems to be in Hideo Kojima's next project. Whether or not it's going to be Death Stranding 2, no one knows, and honestly, I'm kind of over the Kojima slow jerk. But first, before we get into any of that, I want everyone here to know that this is an audience interactive podcast. So if you're watching us Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over at Twitch TV /GamePoints, or later at any myriad of video hosting platforms, be it Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, YouTube, etc., feel free to join in the conversation with any questions, comments, concerns, and let me know what you guys think down below. I won't want to live in a vacuum here. I want to kind of see if I'm out on the branch with some of these ideas or if I'm dead on. Also, if you enjoy what you see here tonight, you know what to do when it comes to likes, bits, follows, sub, shares, all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the very first story of the week here via Video Game Chronicle. Core Cyberpunk 2077 team members are moving to the US to lead a sequel studio. Now, last week, in kind of an odd announcement of things, an odd way of announcing things, I should say, CD Projekt Red's, or CD Projekt as a company, their investor relations team just put out a whole bunch of information saying that they're working on 3 upcoming Witcher games. There's a smaller Witcher project in the works, and a sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. Now it seems like they're going to be kicking off development on that sooner than later, as they're setting up a brand new team in the United States. To the article itself. Core team members behind Cyberpunk 2077 are reportedly planning to move to the US to lead development on the next game in the series. That's according to GameQuest designer Paweł Sasko, who tweeted on Tuesday he would be soon relocating from CD Projekt Red's Polish headquarters to establish the new Boston-based team who will make the sequel. According to the designer, the core team behind the first game will also move to North America and establish a new studio. CD Projekt Red confirmed on Tuesday that the next Cyberpunk game, currently known as Project Orion, would be handled by this US-based studio, which is going to be called CD Projekt Red North America. Work on Orion began after release of the upcoming 2077 expansion, Phantom Liberty, next year, CD Projekt Red said in an investor call on Tuesday. That's what I'm talking about. They did like this random investor call and just dropped all of this news. And you'd expect it to have some kind of press release aside from it before that came out, but there you go. CD Projekt Red Vice President and CFO Peter Niblowitsk said in the following statement: "Our plans are certainly ambitious and call for a great deal of work, dedication, and further growth. And that is why we're setting up a new team in Boston, which, together with the expanding Vancouver team, will form a new studio, CD Projekt Red North America. As a result, we'll be able to fully tap into the North American talent pool." And yes, that is 100% why they're doing this. That's a central location to a bunch of development teams that they can start poaching from. There is, as healthy as the Polish gaming scene kind of is, they are restricted by the general size of Poland to begin with. Coming to America should hopefully alleviate some of those concerns. Hey there, Rocco, how you doing? Let's see. The only thing that CD Projekt Red has to look forward to pertaining to a new Cyberpunk game is that they can't have a worse initial release than the first one. I understand that sentiment, and it's weird to see Cyberpunk kind of going through this renaissance right now. It's been a while since it's come out. Apparently, they've patched it up and tuned it up quite a bit, and the sales have been really good for it, as well as player count currently. A lot of that admittedly bolstered by the fact that Edge Runners came out on Netflix, which is an excellent anime, and that seems to have reinvigorated interest in this game. And I don't think it's any coincidence that we're getting the announcement to the sequel, whether it's going to be Cyberpunk 2078 or Cyberpunk something else is to be seen. But it's not a coincidence that the sequel announcement and all that is lining up, because they're striking while the iron's hot. What is a good count in a single player game? Well, what I mean by that, Rocco, is a concurrent player count. On Steam, Cyberpunk currently hit more players over the past few weekends ago concurrently than I believe Witcher 3 had at its all-time high. I believe that's what the story was. Let me know if I'm wrong, if you can track down that information somewhere. So they had a resurgence of people playing this game over the past month or so. Most of it, like I said, driven by the announcement of the expansion Phantom Liberty, as well as Edge Runners, both of which have been seemingly well received. There's there seems to be a renaissance of this game. I'm not going to say it's No Man's Sky level where suddenly it's just an entirely new game, but from my experience, because I've been playing it again recently myself, while never what was initially promised, and there's no amount of patches or bug fixes that can deliver that, a lot of it has been cleaned up. It's no longer as glitchy or as buggy to it. Night City's AI feels somewhat more alive. People don't just disappear if I move real fast anymore. It does seem like they've fixed up a lot of my issues with the technical side of the game. Now, the core game itself, as I said, the mechanics, the quest structure, the missing features, that stuff's never really going to be fixed with a patch. Whether you want to hold that against CD Projekt Red is totally to your prerogative. I will say, regardless of what they make, always remember the clusterfuck that was 2077 and take any future game this team does with a grain of salt. At the very least, don't do what so many people did and pre-order it in advance and make it one of the best-selling games of that year, only for people to realize it was kind of a technical mess. Just keep that in mind. And that's why you shouldn't pre-order things to begin with. In a digital age, there's no such thing as scarcity. Unless you want like a physical collector's edition of some kind, in which case you might want to consider it. But the idea of pre-ordering a digital game, like I said, they're not going to run out of codes. They're just not. Scarcity in a digital era is a myth. So yeah, seems like the project is going to be kicking off here soon in Boston. Full team is getting set up there. However, keep in mind that CD Projekt Red does have a full plate, including 3 upcoming Witcher games, all of which will likely be out before this game is. That said, if they ramp up production enough, they might actually be able to spin 2 plates at the same time, where this team here in Boston works solely on Cyberpunk, and the Witcher team out in Poland stays focused on that, and they could possibly make the Cyberpunk sequel by the time the second new Witcher game comes out. Who knows? I'm just spitballing at this point. Let me know what you think down below, if you'd play a new Cyberpunk game or not. I kind of am excited. Excited's not the word I want to use, because excited is what led to people having their hopes dashed when the first game came out. Cautiously optimistic, maybe. I think that there is something there. There is something to Cyberpunk that is almost glorious. And we just need to massage it a little bit to get us the rest of the way there. But I do think that I'm willing to give CD Projekt Red a chance. I mean, not that what my opinion matters on it. They're making it anyways. But I'm willing to at least entertain the idea that this one could be great. Finally deliver on what the promise to the first one was. And they go as far as to say that's what this is supposed to do, to finally deliver on the promise of Cyberpunk. Next topic here as we move on. This is probably going to be somewhat of a short show today, by the way. This is via IGN. Silent Hill director says multiple Silent Hill games in development. This is kind of a clickbaity headline. It's a little misleading, because when they say Silent Hill director, they don't mean anyone working for Konami or Bloober Team or anyone in the game space. Who they mean is the director of the Silent Hill movie. To the article itself from IGN. The Silent Hill movie director Christoph Gans may have confirmed that multiple Silent Hill games are indeed in the works, corroborating rumors that have been circulating for some time now. Gans, who directed the 2006 Silent Hill film, has previously teased his involvement in a new Silent Hill movie. In a recent French interview, Gans spoke about the future of Silent Hill franchise, and thanks to translation posted on Reset Era, tread with caution on Reset Era, by the way. They are ban happy, and let's just say that. Gans teased what's to come with the video game front. He said the following: I'm working with Team Silent, the original creators at Konami, and there are several games in development as we speak. There are several teams on it, and with a big line of games, they will revive the franchise. I think that they were really impressed with the success of remakes of Resident Evil and are evidently exceptional games. Gans then added that he's not working directly on the games, but he's working with Team Silent, who he first met in... Let me start over. Gans added that he is not working directly on the games, but he is working with the Silent team, who I met when I filmed the first Silent Hill movie. When the interview pressed for more details, Gans claimed that there are several games and that Bloober Team is working on the rumored Silent Hill 2 remake. And according to Gons, there are several teams working on other Silent Hill projects as well. We've heard these rumors for a while now. This is just yet another confirmation that there are multiple teams working on Silent Hill, that Bloober is allegedly working on the Silent Hill 2 remake. I wish them the best of luck. My experience with Bloober team has been mixed, to say the least. I love half their stuff. The other half I think is just boring as hell, and they really don't have any experience building a game like Silent Hill. They tend to do, well, let's call it what they are, first-person walking simulators. So I'm really concerned of them working on something like Silent Hill 2. It could go tits up real quick. Let's take a look at chat here. Can they not kill old beloved titles? Leave well enough alone. Leave the table when you're still winning. Please don't leave a bad taste in the fans' mouths of a burst of sales before people find out it's trash. We do have to remember they did those Silent Hill HD collections when they redid the voice work and everything like that, and those were not great. I would still say just go find a PlayStation 2 copy of Silent Hill 2 if you really wanted to experience what that game was like. You can wreck a franchise. That said, this has also been dormant for a while, and if they stick to what makes these games special, and what makes these games special isn't having Pyramid Head. In fact, that character is overused. It makes sense in Silent Hill 2 and only in Silent Hill 2. I am willing to see what Konami can do with this stuff, because it feels like Konami's starting to get it again after all these years. I will also admit that I am very concerned about the number of rumored Silent Hill projects currently in development. You don't want to flood the market with them, as it were, and then it makes no sense. Then you turn into Marvel, or you turn into Star Wars, and you kill the property dead in that case. I am very concerned that Konami might be trying to milk a cow way too much here. But it's been a while, and I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt at the moment if it means a return to a very beloved franchise of mine. We'll see if anything comes from it, though. It's just, I have concerns. Anyways, let me know if you have those same concerns as I do down below. I'm excited to finally see something on all this stuff, so that way we can stop fucking talking about it. I just kind of want to move on with some kind of official confirmation somewhere. I'd imagine it has to be sooner than later. There have been so many leaks at this point that they have to make an announcement soon. They have to. Let's see. Chat's asking, didn't they try with PT and not even release it? Yeah, they did try. They did make a... PT was supposed to be a teaser for a Silent Hill game directed by Hideo Kojima, and then the Konami-Kojima split happened. That got blown straight to hell. Rumor is that one of these Silent Hill projects being worked on, I think it's called like Lost Messages or something like that. I can't quite remember what the name of it was. It's rumored that might be something that's akin to PT, where it's supposed to be teasing a new Silent Hill. This game was rated by a South Korean review board, I think, or it appeared up in their ESRB equivalent over there. I'm fizzling on the details of it, but it seems like they might be doing something along those lines as well for this. I wouldn't be surprised. Moving on to the next topic here, 3 of 6 from Eurogamer. Activision reportedly planning Modern Warfare 2 expansion in 2023 in place of a new Call of Duty. I like this, and I'll get into why I like it after the article itself here. Rather than launching a new Call of Duty title in 2023, Activision is reportedly planning instead to release a premium expansion including new campaign content for Modern Warfare 2. Word of the new paid campaign DLC for Modern Warfare 2 was initially shared by Call of Duty leaker The Ghost of Hope, who claimed to arrive at the game's second year, 2023, and rebundled with a 20th anniversary greatest hits map pack containing classic maps from the original Modern Warfare 2, as well as maps from across the series. Following the Ghost of Hope campaign DLC claims, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier stepped in to corroborate the news, saying the following. Next year, Activision Blizzard will be selling new stuff for Modern Warfare 2, an expansion or something like that. Although Schreier admitted he wasn't exactly sure what it would look like, he claimed it would have campaign stuff too. The expansion will arrive in lieu of a new mainline series entry for Call of Duty in 2023, according to a report from Schreier in February, claiming next year will be the first time in just under 2 decades the core series skips an annual release. I like this, because how I can see this playing out, and by no means is this necessarily how it's going to work, but this is what I think it will do, is that this year's Call of Duty, this 2022 Call of Duty, will adopt a Battle Pass-like system for upgrading the game. I shouldn't even say Battle Pass-like system. Let's back off of that. A Destiny-like seasonal setup that might last 2 years rather than just one, and then everyone has to buy it over again. So that way people can kind of still keep their progress going, and they'll update it with maps. I believe Call of Duty is going to slowly start transitioning into a Destiny 2 Apex Legends style of content delivery. And if they can instead update our campaigns with meaty DLC packs, kind of like how Destiny does Forsaken or the Taken King or the upcoming Lightfall. I think it's Lightfall. I would appreciate that more than just a brand new game every year. I think that'll be easier to deliver as well. So that way they're not just throwing themselves at a whole new engine trying to be different than what's already working. Also, something to keep in mind. The Activision Blizzard buyout from Microsoft might be what's causing this interruption. We have no idea exactly what Microsoft is going to be doing with Activision Blizzard when they get it, and they will get it. Despite some regulation consternation, they will end up acquiring them. I'm 100% confident in that. This could be a one-off thing where, because of that merger, they might just be like, hey, let's just take next year off so we can focus on restructuring the company. That could be part of what's going on. Either way, I like the idea of Call of Duty just kind of going away for a little bit. And I shouldn't say totally away, but maybe just have a year where it's some big, meaty expansion content rather than a brand new game. I don't need a brand new game. I like the campaigns as they are. I don't need to spend another $60 or $70 to rebuy the same thing over again when I can just get some map packs, some campaign pack, etc. I don't think I'm alone in this either. I do think that Activision is looking at what they had with Bungie and Destiny before they spun off. And I think they want to kind of capture something like that. And I think mirroring Destiny's success with its seasonal structure is the way to go for this franchise's future. Let's go to Rocco in chat here. Guaranteed the map ports are going to be AI generated and badly smoothed out by devs, and no one will stop complaining about it until they take it out of the game. And people will complain about the removal, saying they missed it. And Call of Duty needs to realize that if you truly want to fail to try to please that you will truly fail if you try to please everyone. I highly doubt that they will have any AI generated maps, especially for their collector's edition, or the 20th edition celebration, whatever they had it, whatever we were mentioning there, because all they have to do is take the basic structure of the maps that already exist and touch them up a little bit. I don't think that we will ever see an AI generated multiplayer map pack of some kind, and I think that the games industry is very reluctant to go down that path, given the disastrous results that were Rockstar's handling of the remasters of Vice City, etc. I think that AI generated shit is a little too far down the road to be worrying about that at this point in time. Next up on the topics here via IGN, Meta has officially announced the Quest Pro VR headset. After teasing a new headset under the codename Project Cambria and leaked images surfacing online, Meta has officially unveiled the Quest Pro virtual reality headset. Revealed during the Meta keynote, Quest Pro features several improvements over the Quest 2, such as new optical stack that replaces the Fresnel lens found in Quest 2. I have no idea what that is. Meta also confirmed that Quest Pro is the first device powered by the new Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 Plus platform, which the tech giant touts is optimized for virtual reality to run at a 50% more power than the Meta Quest 2 with better thermal dissipation. I'm not going to go into the tech specs and everything on here. Just know that they have straight out said this is not meant for gaming. It's designed for work, not gaming. You'll see that down a little bit farther here. That means I really don't have that much of an interest in it. I want VR to expand outside of gaming for sure. But I don't know if its price tag of $1,500 for something that's not really designed for gaming is quite there yet. Like, what is... why? Who was actively using VR for anything outside of gaming at this point? And don't get me wrong, I want VR to grow outside of gaming. I think that there is a lot of cool shit out there that can be done with it. But given that this is Meta, aka Facebook, and given that they're trying to push everything into that real shitty looking metaverse, I get the feeling that this is going to be $1,500 spent to do only virtual PlayStation Home or your equivalent. I don't see who this is meant to cater to. Because really, VR, in my opinion, unless I see evidence otherwise, VR is still very niche and niche aimed at gaming specifically. People aren't going to spend $1,500 on a VR unit that doesn't really... That's who's it designed for? I don't get it. I don't understand the allure of this thing right here. I just don't get it. Yeah, Meta is years away from coming close to Vive. By the way, rumor is Valve's already working on a new index too. So keep that in mind. Valve's already working on whatever the next iteration of the index is as well. So $1,500. I don't get it. It just it's coming though. It's coming in a couple weeks. I'm kind of surprised by that. October 25th is when that's going to launch. If you have an interest in it, if one of you out there somehow gets a hold of this thing, let me know how it works. Right? I mean, I know how VR works, but let me know how you're enjoying it, because I just don't see the appeal of this product. Next up, via Eurogamer, this is more one of those things I want to put out there because there was a lot of faulty claims on this. Headline: PlayStation trailer which lists Dead Space 4 Remake is PlayStation trailer which lists Dead Space Remake for the PlayStation 4 is a mistake. This is one of those PSA things. Last week, EA Motive launched a trailer for Dead Space went live, and it said on it that it was going to be coming to PlayStation 4. Apparently, this is not the case. So keep that in mind. I just want to put that out there. Dead Space supposedly not coming for the PlayStation 4. I haven't seen any official confirmation from Sony itself that says it, but a couple websites, including Eurogamer, are running with that. So just keep that in the back of your head if you're thinking of getting the Dead Space remake on PlayStation 4, that it might not actually exist, because it seems that this trailer was done in error. Not too much to that one. Final news story. Dear God, I wish we can also stop talking about this. Much like I'm tired of talking about Silent Hills, I am tired of talking about whatever the fuck Hideo Kojima's new game is going to be. We don't know much about it, but according to this article via here from GameSpot, Hideo Kojima new game will be featuring Elle Fanning. The first teaser of this mysterious game was shown during the Tokyo Game Show last month, and additional teasers are coming in, and they follow tradition. A major game event that might be the host. Sorry. My eyes are starting to cross. Additional teasers are coming, and if they follow tradition, a major gaming event might again be the host. If that's the case, the next big gaming event is Gamescom Asia at the end of the year, and of course, Kojima's pal Jeff Keighley is hosting the Game Awards in December. That's when I fully expect this to be revealed. It's sometime in December, because Kojima and Keighley have this weird love affair. And Hideo Kojima has been teasing this game a lot. You have a whole bunch of these where am I, who am I silhouettes coming up. Now 100% confirmed it is going to be Elle Fanning. That is not going to pop up in a way that I like. So we'll just close that. He has been slow jerking the reveal on this for a while, and I'm kind of done with it. Because the Kojima cult goes insane with any little bit of information about any of his games. And I get it. I'm a fan of Kojima's work as well. I thought I was going to hate Death Stranding. I love that goddamn game. So I get it. I get why people are obsessive about this. And he plays with people too. He fucks around with people. Let's not forget his whole when he came out as that director all bandaged up working on whatever the Moby Dick game was. Let's not forget the teaser bullshit from Metal Gear Solid 4 when he was talking about, oh, it's going to come out this year, and then jumps to next year, and then jumps to the previous year. And he's a troll. He knows how to troll people. I get it. Anyways, back to the article here. It's not surprised that fanning will appear in Kojima's new game, as people guessed this a while back when Kojima posted the first cryptic teaser for the game. Kojima Productions has a booth at PAX Australia featuring the QR code below, which takes you to a website showing Fanning's face. As for what the new game is, it's anyone's guess. People have commented the teaser art showing Fanning's face contains the type of strands that were depicted in Death Stranding's art. That would be this lower left one here. You can see the, lines running down her face. And people are taking that and running with it to mean that this could be the heavily rumored Death Stranding 2. Not only is he supposedly working on Death Stranding 2, which has been more or less confirmed by Norman Reedus, because I think he came out in an interview a while ago saying, oh yeah, we're making a second one. But he's also making a new Xbox game. And none of this is to be associated with whatever the hell Abandoned was. I think we can all now agree that Abandoned had nothing to do with Kojima, and that Hasan Karaman is kind of just a grifter. Who allegedly a grifter, who was trying to use the fan speculation about what that game was to convince people it was something Kojima really when it wasn't. Still shocked Sony allowed that to go on for as long as it did, by the way. What is Kojima working on? I have no fucking clue. And I don't even care to speculate at this point. I just want to see it now. I don't need any more tinfoil hat going to various websites and making the connections between things to playing the ARGs to figure out when the next teaser that might actually reveal the thing that he's working on next comes out. I'm beyond it at this point. Just show me a fucking trailer, please. And I think even the biggest fans of his are starting to get to the breaking point with this stuff. So just please stop slow jerking it. That does it for the news, and let's go ahead and move on to new releases in this shorter than normal episode. Coming out this week, NHL 2023 on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. It's NHL, you know what it is. Lego Brick Tales on PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X, Nintendo Switch. This actually looks kind of cool. In this puzzle adventure, use intuitive brick-by-brick building mechanic to solve puzzles and bring your creations to life. Experience a charming story as you explore beautiful Lego dioramas and help the people inhabiting them. I'm sure it's geared toward a younger audience, but I've watching trailers from this, and it seems to be a little bit more in-depth than the Lego games. You just kind of hold a button and they create things. It looks like you're actually assembling things brick by brick. That seems very relaxing to me right now. Not going to lie. I saw this and I almost bought it. Lego Brick Tales. Also out this week, Cultic on the PC. Death is only the beginning. Crawl from your grave and gear up to fight your way through the ranks of the mysterious and twisted cult. You, your guns, and your dynamite will have to shoot, slide, blast, duck, dodge, and maybe throw a jib or two to survive in this old school inspired shooter. This looks like an old build engine shooter. I don't know if it actually is on the build engine, but it certainly reminds me of it. And there have been a whole bunch of these coming out lately. The early to mid 90s style shooter seems to me alive and well all of a sudden again. This does look kind of cool. I might have to take a look at it. Also out this week, PGA Tour 2K23 on the PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Series X. Much like NHL, this is PGA. You know what it is. It's golf. And then finally, Scorn on the PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. And that will be day one on Game Pass, I believe. Scorn is an atmospheric first-person horror adventure game set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. This is that game that is very clearly inspired by the art of H.R. Giger, or Geiger, however you pronounce his name. You know, the guy that designed the alien from Alien. That weird bio-organic technology fused of humanity, kind of just weird, creepy shit. I still don't know what my opinion on this game is going to be. I'm afraid it's going to just be a generic shooter that looks a little bit like Quake, as opposed to something really narrative-based and just creepy and spooky. And I'm hoping it's the latter. I don't necessarily want a generic shoot, bang, bang fest first-person shooter blast things up that just looks kind of weird. I want something disturbing and psychological and and horror-ish, especially given that it is just that time of year. So we'll see when Score comes out later this week whether or not that fits that mold. And that does it for new releases, and that does it for the show as well. This has been GamePoints episode 329, and thank you all for showing up. We do stream this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here at twitch.tv/GamePoints, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. If you like what you saw here, you can support the show in any myriad of ways. Likes, bits, follow, subs. You can follow myself on Twitter at CapitalistPig21. You can join our Discord server, link provided down below, where all the links to the stories will be added as well, if you want to go take a look and read up on what I mentioned today. And, of course, I do stream throughout the week here at twitch.tv/GamePoints, so come on by, hang out, and say hi. Until next week, thank you all for showing up, and I'm out of here.